A group of amateur archaeologists in the United Kingdom is currently excavating the area around an old toilet at the site of an abandoned Roman settlement there. The toilet in question is situated within a castrum, which is a Roman term for a walled settlement, in a region of Britannia occupied by the Romans called Vindolanda. In this video, we will talk about the Roman toilet, which was discovered by experts and contained a lot of treasure. Before we start the video, please subscribe to our channel and give our video a thumbs up. Without further delay, let's start the video. The fort served as a watchtower for Hadrian's Wall, which ran east to west across the region, and the items unearthed during its excavation hold the potential to shed new light on the recreational pursuits of Roman soldiers stationed there. In the 1930s, Professor Eric Burley, who later established the Department of Archaeology at Durham University, conducted research at the site. He then shared his findings with his children, Anthony and Robin. The following excavations are coordinated by the Vindolanda Charity Trust with the help of hundreds of volunteers. After the bathhouse snow excavation in 1970, Vindolanda developed a reputation as a popular tourist destination. A garrison of infantry and cavalry forces known as the Cohors Quarter Galerium Equitato once called the location of Vindolanda their home. Another name for this unit is the 4th Part-Mounted Cohort of Gauls. In 2006, archaeologists discovered an inscription at the site that revealed a more complicated social system. This discovery was made possible by the fact that the writing was still legible. At the close of the 1st century, a battalion of Batavian soldiers and cavalry that numbered 1,000 strong and was known as the 9th Cohort of Batavians had expanded the size of the fort. In the early part of the 3rd century, a stone fortress was built in this region. However, after the death of the emperor, the castle was destroyed and replaced by garrison quarters. The Vindolanda tablets, which were discovered in the 1970s, contain ink details of army dispatches and private communication. These tablets are the oldest specimens of handwriting that are known to exist in Britain. In 2018, archaeologists excavated a ditch prior to the construction of Hadrian's Wall and discovered a silver duck brooch, a hand sculpture, and the remains of a hairy dog. Anne Burley has demonstrated that even at Vindolanda, the ruins are of excellent quality, and this relic demonstrates what may have survived from the site's ditches that are the deepest. The excavation that took place in 2019 around the toilet drain of the Vindolanda bathhouse unearthed bits of exquisite carnelian and red jasper depictions of Roman gods and goddesses, in addition to a broken board game called Ludus Latringularum. Archaeologists are familiar with the format of the game, as well as its individual components. The game had a military theme and may have included wagers. Around the 2nd century BC, the game was first brought up in conversation. In the 1st century AD, a particularly difficult variation of checkers known as Ludus Latrinecularum was quite popular. The fact that it was discovered in the castle, sleeping quarters, and commander's home at Vindolanda is evidence of its widespread use. Richard Burley, an amateur archaeologist, intends to keep excavating boards and eventually retire to a plot of property in North Africa. Following the analysis of ancient DNA extracted from bones found in Italy, a group of experts came to some unexpected conclusions regarding the ancient Romans. It was discovered through DNA analysis that Mars was the father of Remus and Romulus, the founders of Rome, and that the god of war washed ashore on the shores of the Tiber roughly 3,000 years ago. The DNA analysis also showed that in 625 BC, residents of the ancient Italian region of Latium banded together to form what would eventually become the city-state of Rome in order to protect themselves from neighboring adversaries. Jonathan Pritchard, a professor of biology and genetics at Stanford University, is the one who conceived and directed this fresh perspective on the ancient Romans. The era of Rome's kings, which lasted from the city's founding in 753 BC to 510 BC, when the city's social elite developed a new type of leadership, is considered to be the beginning of Rome's history. The first emperor of Rome, was Gaius Julius Caesar Octavianus, and the imperial period of Rome lasted from the installation of Octavian in 27 BC all the way up until the collapse of the Roman Empire in 471 AD. The eastern portion of the Roman Empire was subject to invasions by both the Goths and the Vandals, while the western portion of the empire remained relatively secure. The collapse of the Byzantine Empire did not occur until the 15th century, when it was accomplished by the Turkish conquest of Constantinople, the capital city of the empire. According to the findings of a study that was released in November 2019, Roman populations frequently mirrored the highs and lows of the city. This was due to the fact that Rome underwent two big migrations during which people relocated to the Eternal City. Pritchard and his Stanford team collaborated with sapiens at the University of Arizona's Alfredo Capa and Ron Pinhosha, associate professors of evolutionary anthropology at the University of Vienna, to collect 127 samples of human DNA from 29 locations in Rome. According to the results of the DNA analysis, the first settlers arrived in Rome around 6000 BC, and between 5,000 and 3,000 years ago, people from Ukraine started migrating to the city in large numbers. The absence of European and African DNA in ancient Rome can be explained by the fact that the populations in these regions were presumably spread out less densely than those in the Near East and Eastern Mediterranean. The population's genetic code moved away from the Eastern Mediterranean and into Western Europe as a result of the devastation caused by diseases and other outside influences during Romae. The Holy Roman Empire was responsible for the division of Central and Northern Europe, yet a significant portion of ancient Rome can still be seen there today. The purpose of this study is to broaden the geographic scope of DNA, as well as shed light on how the sequencing of ancient DNA might assist researchers in better comprehending the evolution of prevalent present-day characteristics such as height, disease resistance, and lactose tolerance. All of this was about this new find. Use the comments to tell us what you think about this finding. If you like the video, click the like button and share with your friends about. Please subscribe to our channel and click on the bell button to get updates regularly. Thanks for coming to watch. See you all at the next video.